Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fine Fluency here, and I'm just on with a bit of a random one today. I've had a really good day creating some content for you and looking at new lessons and things that are coming up for us. And I just was thinking about it, and I'm getting quite a lot of people sort of saying, I'm not really progressing as quickly as I'd like to in my learning, or I don't know, like, how can I accelerate my language learning? How can I get better at learning languages or learning Spanish? I still feel like I'm spending quite a lot of time, but I can't really remember the vocabulary, or I'm having a problem with remembering verbs or that kind of thing. And what I really want you to do is think about the last time you set yourself a goal. Think about the last time you had a big goal in your life. For a lot of you, you're either living in Spain, or you've got a holiday home in Spain, or you're spending time in Spain, you're going on holiday there, and you think it'd be quite useful to be able to converse and talk to your neighbours, or, you know, being able to get by with everyday language. So it's quite a big goal for a lot of you, and it's quite important for you. So what I'd quite like you to do is think back to the last time that you had quite a big goal in your life. For some of you, especially if you've moved to Spain or the islands, that goal might have actually been moving to the islands, moving to Spain. So I just want you to think back a little bit to that goal and think about all of the steps that you put in place to make sure that you could achieve that goal, and all of the time that was spent working towards that goal, putting things in place for that goal, and how long that really took you. And I want you to think about the commitment that you made to yourself to get yourself to achieve that goal. For me, for example, right, I've just joined a slimming club, the Shame, and I'd quite like to lose a bit of weight. I put weight on when I had my little girl, I lost it, and I put it back on again. I just like eating, so I would quite like to lose a little bit of weight. So my goal is to lose a bit of weight. So I've committed to that goal. I've joined the Slimming Club. I'm going to be attending the Slimming Club every week. I've spent a couple of hours this morning preparing healthy food so that it's always there for me, and I don't go, or there's less chance of me really going off-piste with the food, right? So I've committed time, I've committed effort, I've committed energy. I got up this morning and I worked out, and I'm planning on doing that 4 or 5 times a week, just 20 minutes, half an hour. So one of my favourite sort of exercise gurus, if you like, is Gillian Michaels. And something really struck a chord with me today about what she said about achieving your goals and achieving your in this case it was fitness goals, but you know, it could apply to anything equally. So she said, you know, I was in the middle of the workout, I'm sweating, I'm dying, I'm not enjoying it, I'm hating it. And she said, you know, think about why you're doing this, and think about, you know, what you have to do to achieve it. And all I'm asking for is half an hour a day. She says, that's all I'm asking for. You'll get there. All I'm asking for is half an hour a day for you to work out. And I thought, you know, this could actually equally apply to my language learners, this. What I always say to people, if you're having problems with it, or you're not getting there, or you feel like you're struggling, remember that it takes quite a long time for information to transfer from the short term to the long term memory. So although it seems to you like you've looked at things like loads of times, you have to see things at least 7 or 8 times before it makes that transfer from short term to long term. Just because it's in long term doesn't mean that it's going to automatically be there for you when you're trying to recall it, right? But the point is, when you see that, it should ring a bell. But you have to see it at least 7 or 8 times. And as we get older and as we advance in years, and as I always say, I've got quite a lot of you silver surfers on my group, and that's fantastic. But, you know, it might take a bit longer, it might take a bit more time. So think about how long you've really got to commit to this. And there are some shortcuts we can take, which we'll maybe go through at another time. But what I always say to my learners is little and often's great. So if you can commit to 10 minutes a night, brilliant. If you can commit to 20 minutes every 2 or 3 nights, like 3 or 4 nights a week, that's great. The thing that you really want to avoid with language learning is leaving a huge gap in between your lessons. So what you really don't want is to have, like, do a big chunk, like do 3 hours one night and then not do anything for a fortnight, because it just takes that bit longer for the wheels to grease. Then when you start again, you find it difficult to recall things, you can't remember. And it's why I do quite a lot of sort of vocabulary cycling exercises. You'll notice in the lessons it kind of looks like, oh, we've done this, we've seen that, But there's reasons for that. There's method in the madness, basically. We need to see it quite a lot of times before it starts really sinking in and sticking, right? So as I say, what I really want, this is just me, going off piece a little bit with you, but think about your learning, think about how long you've got to commit to the learning, and little and often, no big gaps, immersing yourself as well if you can. So doing extra things like, reading magazines, watching films with subtitles on if you like, watching TV, watching weather reports, things that sort of occur in everyday life that you can maybe get yourselves immersed in Spanish. People say to me as well, how come, the French or the Spanish or whoever find it so much easier to learn English than we do to learn French or Spanish. And I don't actually think that's true. I don't think it is that much easier for them. However, I do think they have a couple of inbuilt advantages, one of which is a lot of the media that they have access to, a lot of the celebrity world, a lot of the films and the music that they have access to is in English. So already they are sort of being naturally immersed in English. We're not really getting that. And when you look at our media in the UK, or even in the US, if you're in the US learning, we're not exposed an awful lot actually to European languages, for example, or the other, what I would call the other. We're not really exposed to that a lot, whereas in Europe they are much more exposed to English news, Anglophone, or Anglo info, if you like. So they've got a big advantage there. So you have to seek those opportunities out as a native English speaker. You have to look for the opportunities to immerse yourself in Spanish. So as I say, films, magazines, TV, anything you can get your hands on, listening to little clips. There's so much free stuff out there, including obviously my group. So make the most of it. Google search, you don't have to look far and you'll find some free bits and bobs. And I will also obviously be sharing, we've already shared some of our favourite free resources, but I'll obviously already be sharing those at some point in the next few weeks, some of my best free resources, right? But as I say, I just wanted you to reflect a little bit yourself on what your goal is in Spanish and what you can actually realistically commit to, and what was the last big goal that you had and how did you achieve it? And how can you apply those principles to your learning in Spanish? Anyway, that's some of my musings on the topic. I hope that's been of some use to you. And as I say, keep your eyes open for my mini lesson and try and get yourself subscribed on YouTube. I will do another little video just showing some people. I've had a few questions from people saying, how do I subscribe to a YouTube channel? I'm not really sure how to do that. So I'll do a couple of posts and maybe another video on that as well. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten that. Whoever it was that asked me, I can't remember. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.